So I was a part of a conversation earlier today about my top five where in my top five, I put Jeezy as number one. you know, nobody just fully disagreed with me on that, but of course, a lot of people brought up the fact that, you know, they never seen Jeezy as number one on anybody's list, and I knew that. But I do think he belongs in that conversation. I think he's put in the work. Man, he's had, you know, a few amazing albums, a lot of singles. You know, I remember the time when Jeezy dropped, man, in the club, man, it was bananas, man. Like you just had to be there. And if you weren't there, you may want to ask somebody what it was like during that era, how strong that movement was, man. It was awesome to see. Anyway, so it brought into the conversation other artists that, you know, I was considering sliding into that spot. I wanted to bring guys in that I felt like hadn't really got the props that they deserve, right? And another guy that I was strongly considering was Boosie. You know what I'm saying? I've said before, you know, I'm from Texas, I'm from the South. You know, depending on where you are, you may have a totally different perception of Boosie and what he's done musically and his influence and all of these things. But, man, Boosie was huge too, you know, and man, he's been very, very productive in the studio, you know, as far as just putting out more and more albums, you know, even with him being in and out of jail and all that, man, he's put together a very, very nice body of work, I would say. Before he came home, man, I was joking with some of my buddies. I say, man, him coming home is going to be big like Tupac coming home. You know, they like, oh, man, Boosie ain't Tupac. I think a lot of people couldn't get past his voice. You know what I'm saying? But over the years, man, if you actually been just listening to the music, man, hey, he one of the coldest ones out there, you know. I wouldn't really put him, you know, he's not a lyricist, you know, he's not like a J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar, Drake type of, you know, he ain't really one of those guys. But, man, just spitting that real, man, and just putting together good quality music that we can enjoy in the culture, man, and in the hood necessarily. Man, it's just, you know, to me, I feel like he deserves more props and more credit than what he gets. I do think that part of it is some of the shenanigans and the things that he kind of participates in these days. I think people kind of start to see him more as like a personality or a social media guy or something like that, more so than a musician. But man, like I say, man, you take all of that away from it, man, the music itself, it should be able to stand pretty strong. You know, keep in mind, man, he came off that tree with Pimp C, Bun B, UGK. You know, he came out of Baton Rouge, which is a rough city, man, and a lot of real stuff going on there. So I just kind of wanted to use this opportunity and use that conversation to give Boosie a shout out, man. Say, man, I don't think they be giving you your props, man. I don't think they be giving you your card, Boosie. You might have to have one of them Soulja Boy moments and get on there, get on Breakfast Club or one of these big platforms and let them know, man. Go run down your resume, let them know who you really are, man. Let them know all the things you influenced. Let them know all the people that you helped along the way. Show them the records that you sold, the cities you've been able to go to over and over again for years and years and years and get love and get those top paid shows. And, you know, when you part of the promotion game, you know who hot. You know who hot for real by what they're able to charge and how difficult it is to get a hold of some guys. He's one of those guys, man, when other people was maybe charging, you know, $5,000 and all that type, man, hey, that man was still getting, I mean, I know his number has varied over the years, but I'm just saying he's always been able to get a real bag because he's been in demand. That's what lets you know who hot, or that's one of the ways you know who's hot. And so, you know, I didn't put him as number one, but, you know, I could have very easily just slid Boosie in there. I feel like he's that caliber of artist. I feel like he's put in that caliber of work. And I feel like him being from the South and maybe him never really signing to one of the bigger labels, maybe that's a reason why he's never just really got that full support and backing and recognition that he deserves. So again, man, jump in the comments, man. I would love to hear what y'all got to say about Boosie, man. I feel like, you know, Boosie is underrated and underappreciated, man. Boosie, step up, man. Let them know, man. Let them know. They don't know. They obviously don't know. How many awards have you got, man? Do they invite you to the award shows? If they do invite you to the award shows, have they ever given you an award? I feel like you deserve one, man. You know, the same way that, you know, I say that we was bumping at UGK, and the same way that we were listening to them and soaking up game from them, man, not just the music itself, but about life, you know what I'm saying? Life lessons in that music. Man, I done had some of those same experiences bumping Boosie, man, you know, if I'm gonna be real. So, shout out to Boosie. Boosie, man, step up, let them know, man. Let them know who you are. Let them know what you've done, man. Make sure they give you your card, man. Make sure they give you your flowers, man. You need to have one of them Soldier Boy moments, man. Let them know, Boosie. They think it's a game. It ain't a game. Shout out to Boosie, man.